have to talk about the New York Yankees.
Yep.
Here we go, starting with some baseball. So, Brian, the Yankees, they started this 2024 season 50-24. Really good start, right? But since then, they've been 29-34. And at times, we've seen the Bronx Bombers play down to their competition, play up to some of the tougher teams, but down to the lesser teams. Earlier this week, we saw this. They dropped a series to the Nationals. The team has been what I like to call mediocre, or, so like I like to say sometimes, extra regular. I'll say that about them, right? Since that dominant start. So now we're in the final full month of the season. Do you believe the team can get out of this mediocre muck? Do you believe that can happen?
I think for them, they have, right, because right now they're up a game and a half on Baltimore, and they have the tiebreak. I think they have 3 games over the Guardians, plus they have the tiebreaker. So that gives them a little bit of a cushion to work with, and I feel like that gives them at least a little bit of leeway. It's almost like you're in like a crowded area, but you have just enough room to move your arms around.
Right.
So I like that for them. And I think that their schedule is going to be pretty tough. But I think what helps also is that a lot of those games are going to be at home. Like they have a 3-game series against Baltimore from the 24th to the 26th, and it's going to be in Yankee Stadium. And I think to really give themselves as much room as possible, I think they got to sweep all 3 of those games. Like they're down in the season series currently to Baltimore, and then if they win that, they have the tiebreaker over Baltimore in Cleveland. And I think especially for this team, if you're able to stack those wins up, really get back on in good footing, you get to have home field throughout the playoffs. And I think, you know, we talk about it in a lot of sports.
Yeah.
Role players always play better at home, and when you're at home, you feel a lot more comfortable. Just as one example, Giancarlo Stanton, I was looking it up last night. At Yankee Stadium, he's slugging .568, and on the road, he's slugging .387. So for players like that, if you get as many games in your building as possible, you really get to be your full, most comfortable self. And like we were talking about before, when you have that advantage, you have a little bit more time and rest to really sort of like set your rotations, have players to like rest up any sort of nicks and bruises that they're going through. So I think for the Yankees, getting home court later.
You're thinking about basketball.
Getting home field advantage, I think, is really of the utmost importance, and I like their chances. And last night, they got a good win against St. Louis. Stroh gave them some really good innings. Austin Wells had an awesome game at the plate. I like what they're going to do, and I think because coming up, they're going to Texas after the series wraps up against St. Louis. Texas hasn't been hitting well this year. They're 24th in OPS, and you have Rodon and Garrett Cole pitching in that series. Cole, he hasn't crossed 7 innings yet this season, but he's gone 6 a couple times in August. He's really started to sort of like figure some things out, I would say, to a certain degree. So they're going to need really big work out of him and everyone else to sort of really make that big final push to secure a top spot.